Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the season 2, episode 1 of Yuva Unplugged. Today, we are privileged to have with us Dr. Nidhi Gupta, Head of Department Management, GIMS Vasant Kunj. She has an experience of more than 24 years in higher education training and research with a PhD in commerce and MBA in international business. Good morning, ma'am. We are pleased to have you here.
Thank you.
So, ma'am, today's topic is global events through a youth lens.
Very interesting topic.
Yeah, and I just want to open this conversation with the question that how engaging or how geopolitics had made a difference in your own life, and why do you think it is important for young people like us to stay aware with the what's happening globally and what are the geopolitical issues?
Okay, so yes, engaging with geopolitical issues, they have made difference in my personal life as well. It's helped me see, the connection between the events happening at faraway places with my everyday experiences, like, the price of my car fuel to gas or to the apps which I use. So, it's very critical for the young generation to stay aware about the global events happening because, they are very quickly impacting us all. Be it technology, be it climate urgency, or even the economy.
And what is your opinion on are we the most politically aware generation or we are more politically online? Do we more get involved into what's happening globally through news or through general interest, or we see it past phones and we are more into online?
So, as far as I think, we are the most politically online generation, right? So, why I am saying that? Because nowadays information is available more than ever, right? Everything is on your fingertips. So, but the actual depth varies. So, few of us are very, very aware and engaged and well informed. However, many of us, right, they are bombarded with the headlines and hashtags, but they never dig deeper. So I can say that the information is wide but shallow. So we are politically online more than the politically aware.
Is it because it is more accessible to people now? Ki it is online हम देखते हैं तो it is more convenient for the people to look upon what's happening globally?
Yes, because what is happening, we are more interested in scrolling the information, right? Every content is available. We have real time pictures, we have eyewitness videos available, viral images are there. But we are very few of us will have the curiosity that what is the actual detail. So we are just seeing what is happening online, but reality may be, and many times it is different.
So following up to that, where do you really get your information on global affair from? Is there anything specific you rely on, and what do you recommend others to watch or follow?
My recommendations do matter.
Yes.
Okay, so how do I get my information, right? What is happening on global politics and all. So there is a mix of resources. I follow some major international outlets like BBC, Reuters. At times I follow some customized podcasts and special newsletters, The Diplomat, right? I follow first post of Palki Sharma Upadhyay on Instagram, right? I follow Arun Singh. He has a very, very good podcast. So I suggest that the people should have the variety of sources. Of course, you cannot rely nowadays on one source. It is very difficult, but yes, from these kind of sources you can get the up-to-date information.
For you say you rely on podcasts and different things, but I see more of my generation and my type of people, they are podcast is just a too much thing for them to like sit there and
So
watch it.
they can follow in shorts on it's
Exactly,
an app,
yeah.
so it is giving you the crux of a news in 30 words, I suppose. And I recommend Palki Sharma Upadhyay first post. At least you should know that within 2 minutes what is happening actually in the world.
Is in shorts reliable?
Of course, they are getting their information from the main news channels and newspapers.
So if anyone like me follows in short, so will I be ahead or updated with the time, or will I be behind? Because usually in shorts will verify it and then post it. So will it take more time,
No,
or will I
no,
get
no,
be?
no. Absolutely, you will be very much on time, in fact, ahead than others of your generation.
That's nice. And like you say, so where do you think like young people like us seem more to care about climate change, like climate change this, climate change that? They are ready to protest on changing environments, but when they talk, it comes upon trade barriers and trade agreements, like they don't seem to care that much. So what do you think? Like they are the both, like for me, it is both the same parts of global politics, but nowadays people are more into climate change, environment, but not on trade barriers, tariffs. And what do you want to say on that?
Okay, so if I talk about today's generation, they are more concerned to climate change or climate urgency. Why? Because it is very much relatable to them personally, and it can be their personal emergency, it can be the future emergency for them. But when it comes to, like you were mentioning, trade agreements,
Yes.
so many times they are inaccessible, and they felt disconnected, like they do not know what is happening between two countries on a particular trade agreement. But yes, climate change is something hitting personally. So what will happen to my future generation if water will not be available, or carbon gas emissions? So very, very personal thing. So nowadays generation, the young people, they every they want to do the things which relate to them, or they can relate to anything, they can be more concerned to that. So I think the climate change is the priority over the trade agreements.
But I feel that कि जो climate change वाला issue है, that is something जो हमारी जनरेशन ने स्टार्टिंग से देखा और विटनेस किया है. बट ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट्स आर अ लिटिल बिट टू फार फॉर अस. कि ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट्स एक बहुत ही वास्ट चीज हो गई जो दो नेशंस के बीच में हो रही है. बट
That's what I was saying. It is inaccessible, and at times we felt disconnected. We don't know what is happening at that front. So
बट ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट्स वगैरह का भी तो उतना इम्पैक्ट है. लाइक जैसे हमारे ट्रेड और टैरिफ्स बढ़ गए, तो इससे कहीं ना कहीं इम्पैक्ट तो हमें भी होगा ही.
both are the part of global politics. Of course, it's a very, very important issue. But the in my opinion, you can get more information, you can do more actions on climate change rather than trade agreement. Because on trade agreements you have to rely on your government, what your government is doing. But when it comes to climate change, you can take your own action. We believe in 3 R's, recycle, and
Yes.
so we can initiate the action. But trade agreements, we can be impacted or affected by them, but we really cannot initiate something on that part on our own.
मतलब इन क्रक्स यू वांट टू से कि जो ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट्स है वी कैन नॉट हैव अ कंट्रोल ऑन देम. हम उसमें कुछ नहीं कर सकते. बट क्लाइमेट चेंज के लिए वी कैन डू डिफरेंट थिंग्स अपने पार्ट से, ताकि वो चीज़ बेटर हो जाए.
एब्सोल्युटली.
तो दैट इज समथिंग. जो एक चीज़ और भी होती है जो हम आगे रिलेट कर सकते हैं इस पॉडकास्ट से, कि क्लाइमेट चेंज पे हम सब मिलके काम कर सकते हैं अपने पार्ट से.
हमें करना चाहिए.
एग्जैक्टली.
And I think you, my students at Jims Vasant Khush, you guys are doing great.
थैंक यू मैम. नाउ द थिंग इज कि आजकल हम लोग इतनी सारी चीज़ें, इतने सारे ग्लोबल कन्फ्लिक्ट्स पढ़ लेते हैं, तो हैव वी बिकम नम टू बैड न्यूज़ कि हमें अब कुछ उससे फ़र्क ही नहीं पड़ता, या फिर वी स्क्रॉल पास कन्फ्लिक्ट्स लाइक दे आर द क्यूट डॉग एंड कैट वीडियोज, लाइक, और वी शुड रियली गेट
Labubu
अफेक्टेड.
trend.
यस, एग्जैक्टली.
Okay, so becoming numb. Okay, yes. So the reason behind doom scrolling, can cause a numbness. Why? As I was telling you that, you know, information is available more than ever. We are flooded with the information of, you know, violent, tragic videos or accidents or scenes happened. Then we have the information of terrorist attacks, then cyber crimes, then info crimes, then, you know, any other irrelevant news which is coming on our, you know, screen. So what is happening when we have lot of information available? We, you know, our brain is conditioned to not act on everything. We just scroll from one to other to another to another. So you know, we have been conditioned because of we are in the info age, or, you know, this is the age of, you know, a lot of information we have. So what is happening? Our brain is unable to process, so simply passing it. We are just scrolling, and we are, you know, becoming less empathetic because of that. We are delaying our action on some relevant issues which we are seeing on our social media and simply scrolling. So this is the irony of having more information. So yeah, so and I don't know what you guys can really feel about this, but I feel that, you know, nowadays when I meet the people, when I talk to them, the young people, my students, so at times I feel that they have the place of empathy in their hearts and actions. At times they are just like let go wala scene na, कि okay, it is just an information, छोड़ो, निकल गई, आगे चढ़ो, आगे चलो. So it happens. So we are 80% times becoming numb.
हम ये कह सकते हैं कि बाहर से हम बोल्ड और ये माचो ट्रेंड फॉलो कर रहे हैं, बट अंदर से वी आर स्टिल सेंसिटिव एंड वी स्टिल गेट अफेक्टेड टू दीज न्यूज़. बट हमारा ब्रेन उस लाइक काइंड से ट्रिगर हो चुका है, टारगेट हो सकता है कि हम जब ऐसे एक क्यूट डॉग कैट की वीडियो देखते हैं, उसके बाद कोई फनी मीम देखते हैं, उसका डायरेक्टली अगर हमें कोई ऐसी
ऑपरेशन सिंदूर का वीडियो आ जाता है ना, सो आपका माइंड, आपको पता लगता है यू आर वाचिंग लबूबू,
yes,
which I was mentioning, and then coming to any cat meme, and then coming to any terrorist attack, and then coming to any, you know, Bangladeshi Rohingya migration problem, then coming to any visa or tariff issues, you know, going on in between India and US. So you are like, how to react? So first news you were smiling, another news you were laughing, another news you are sad, another news you are becoming emotional. So I mean, what is happening to your mind? It needs pause to process the information which is not, you know, given to it. So it is causing a numbness, doom scrolling, that's why I used. So it is causing the numbness, and I don't know what is going to happen in future, but yes,
Exactly.
I am realizing it is happening. I realize for myself, lot of news. I don't know how to process it in one go. Should I smile? Should I laugh? Should I be sad? Should I be emotional? And then you are conversating with your, you know, people also who are in front of you. They have different news and talks to conversate with you. So how to process this much information is making you like numb at times.
And आजकल तो like
Less empathetic, I should
yes,
say.
आजकल तो like in our generation and your generation, we are accessible to this thing at a very late age. जैसे we are accessible, हमें 13-14 की एज से अपना मोबाइल मिला था, and then we go past Instagram, and it is like a very late thing for us if we compare it to now generation, जिनके पास
It
अभी
was
6-7 साल
actually
का
a
phone आ
late
रहा है.
thing for us, not
Yes.
for you.
नहीं, but if we say it,
So I got my mobile when I got my first job.
but if we compare it to children nowadays, they are getting their own phones since the age of 6 to 7, तो उनके brain पे तो ये
Even
और
less
ज़्यादा,
than that.
yeah,
They eat their food watching any cartoon on mobile.
तो ये तो ज़्यादा उनके उस पे impact कर रहा है कि उनके पास तो numbness
That
और
is
जल्दी
there.
आ जाएगी.
That is there. They are not empathetic. They are too materialistic. So they all, you know, calculate things, you know, in terms of money, or I don't know, time, or they are very calculative because of this. So emotions, they have taken back seat.
सो फॉलोइंग दैट कि ये चीज़ सारी हो रही हैं, तो इस द कैंसिल कल्चर जो चल रहा है आजकल मार्केट में, इट इज़ बिकमिंग अ काइंड ऑफ फॉरेन पॉलिसी कि हम किसी को कैंसिल कर देते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल जो बॉयकॉट्स हो रहे हैं, या फिर जो कंट्रीज ब्रांड्स को हम बॉयकॉट कर रहे हैं, सेलिब्रिटीज को बॉयकॉट कर रहे हैं. जैसे फॉर से वेरी रीसेंट एग्जांपल, या that is of, like you say, India specific, but if we say Balenciaga, very reputed company, people are openly boycotting them and people are cancelling them. So what is your take on the cancel culture that is becoming a new foreign policy for the people?
It is becoming the foreign policy nowadays, the digital cancel or cancel culture. So what is happening, the citizens and the companies, so they are boycotting any particular influencer which you were mentioning, or any particular brand or country because of its national issues, right, or national actions at times. So it is having international consequences as well. Let's say we can see multiple times that any particular country or brand or a sports team is excluded from participating in any international event because of its national actions. So it is happening. I mean, we can see the example. Our country, people are not going to play a particular match to different country. They have boycotted.
Yes, it's a recent example of...
Recent example. So it is happening. And yes, it is becoming the foreign policy. And of course, it's a consequence of the national actions of a particular country or a particular company which is impacting this boycott. And different people are, the victim of this. Sometimes with, due to their own actions, like the case of multiple influencers, right? So it was the, repercussion of their own actions. Exactly. But sometimes the action of the country has made them excluded from participating in any of the events.
So what is your take? It is good? Is it bad? What do you want to say on that?
Okay, controversial question. See, if I talk about the team which is excluded just because of the actions of others, the other leaders of that particular country, so it is bad for them, right? Because they belong to any particular sports and they have the sportsmanship, right? They want to play, but not playing because of someone else's action. So it is bad. But when you talk about the policy of other nations which are impacted by the actions of those countries, if they have decided to boycott, so see, at times there should be a zero tolerance, right? We should not compromise, like we are giving you everything to come and play and showing the right spirit, and you on the other side having the evil acts for us. So there should be a zero tolerance. At times negative motivation is the key to resolve some issues.
Exactly.
So it's sometimes yes or sometimes no.
It's a 50-50.
It's a 50. It depends on
situation,
on the situation which we are having.
Exactly. So like in recent years, talking about boycott cultures and everything, so in recent years there has been a rising reports of hate crimes and hate speech targeting Indians worldwide, and from your perspective, what is driving this trend? Why?
There is a rise in between hate speeches and hate crimes against Indian across the world, but there can be multiple reasons behind it. One, global political condition among few nations or two nations, between two nations. Sometimes misinformation is spreaded online and it is becoming viral without any reason. Sometimes your scapegoating by your local leaders. So they just want to be safe and let's play the game, and then the victim is your country or the people of the country. It happens, so they want to take the clean sheet and baki jo hoga dekha jayega wala. So it happens. So multiple reasons, but due to that, of course, lot of crimes and hate speeches are there. I think the country should see to this, that how these trends can be stopped. And at times, yesterday only I was watching one video on Instagram wherein a train somewhere in any state of India, very very populated area, and the train was full of crowd, and there was one girl who was sitting at the window seat, and she was feeling like not feeling good. She was sweating, and she was like not in the good conditions. She was washing her face with water and uneasy, very very uneasy, and people were recording the video, not extending the help. They were recording the video of that incident. So when this kind of, and nowadays, as I told you earlier also, these videos are quickly accessible. Everybody and anywhere, they can see those kind. So what kind of image it is, portraying about our country, about respect to one individual who is unwell.
आजकल तो कुछ भी वायरल हो जाता
है ना. So अभी क्या हो रहा है कि when such instances are happening, what kind of image about your country is going to the rest of the world? How people will love your country? So there were multiple comments, like people were commenting, that's why I want to leave India. Like that. Why you are recording the video? Please help that girl. Something like that. So I told you, numbness, less empathy. These are the things happening.
Exactly, ma'am. That's a rising issue for us also to support rather than standing against them. And moving on, we are hearing a lot about the ongoing tariffs, like the issues between India and the US, and how do you see that it is impacting the Indian economy?
Tariff war?
Yes, the rising tariffs. Like Trump has recently rose the tariffs so much to India, and in news that he is supporting other nations. So what is your take, how it is impacting the Indian economy in that sense?
Of course it will impact the Indian economy for the shorter time at least. So tariff war between India and US, so it will affect us, affect our business at the global platform. It will slow down your exports, and the major industries which will be impacted, according to me, maybe IT, steel, agriculture. And what will happen, that the entry of India at global platform or in global markets could be little tougher for some time, and it also affect the job creation. So but I think if we go to China, majority of the problems will go solve.
Exactly. And many thought that Trump would be softer to India, and yet tensions still rose. So what do you think had happened in the foreign policy? What is your take on that?
Despite expectations, see, everybody was expecting that Trump will be softer to India. We are friends, we are ally. So despite expectations, the tensions with Trump administration rose because of his policy, that is America first, right? And the US prioritization, even with the close partners, it is making the scene very tough for the other countries. And I would like to say here that it is not only harder on the Indians or India, but it is also very very harder on the national interest of both the countries, USA as well. So they'll also be affected. So they have, multiple issues like, trade disagreements, to tariff war which you were mentioning, to issues with visa for Indians and other people as well. So it is affecting their national interest as well.
Exactly. And after the tariff disputes between the US and the India and China seem to be more moving closer. So do you think that this is just a message to send to the US, or it can actually affect the long-term geopolitical strategies?
So India moving to China after US disagreements, so it can be both. First, it's a signal to Washington that India has options, right? Second, when you talk about the common interest and mutual agreements between India and China, if we come together, India and China come together, like our Prime Minister is going to China very soon, I think this month only. So what is happening, if we come together on global economic platform, we can do magic. We can push the Western dominance from the global economic platform. It may happen. It can be a very, very vital situation for both the countries, India and China.
That could be a massive rise to India.
Of course.
That could be a great push to
Yes.
seriously represent, and the Western dominance would be absolutely crazy.
It can be pushed away. We do not actually need them.
That's too much intellectual. So who do you think, which country is winning the soft power game, and why does it matter winning the soft power game?
अगर कुछ महीने पहले पूछा होता, so my answer would be South Korea, USA, Japan, right? But आज पूछ रहे हो, so my answer is South Korea, right?
Exactly.
Be it K-pop, K-dramas, technology, so they are winning hearts, nahi?
Yeah,
You
I
and me,
share
we
the
are
same
we are
opinion.
becoming the top fans of.
Yes.
So why soft power is important? Because it is building your goodwill. It is building your perception amongst all the countries. They come forward to help you on key issues. They come forward to have business with you, which can give uplift to your economy. So nowadays South Korea is a winner.
Exactly, I share the same opinion. The rising Korean
I'm
culture.
happy. So I'm a
Yeah.
lover of South Korean, dramas also.
No, I don't follow K-drama, but I am fan of their
I follow. I
the
like.
rising food culture and the food
Yes,
joints.
definitely,
And
definitely.
they share the same taste buds like the Indians do, and the Indians are more
But-
likely
but-
to adapt to their food and the culture.
So they are winning the soft power, soft game nowadays. But if they change their opinion about Indians, the skin color issue, that will be the
Major issue.
magical moment for us.
Yes, that would be. So, if you have to explain a 10-year-old about the current global conflicts, how
Okay.
would you do it?
So usually I teach 17 to 21 years of students, but okay, to explain to a 10-year kid. Okay, so how would I explain? So okay, let's imagine there is a playground which there are two groups which want to control a playground, right, to play. So sometimes they fight, sometimes they argue. But what matters here the most is everybody should feel safe and gets to play. Similarly, when it comes to countries, they at times having disputes on land, power, respect. So as a grown up, it's our duty to make our young generation or the kids to understand that sharing is caring, right? And we should make everybody feel secured, safe, and getting their share.
Like we have to be empowered to move ahead.
Yes.
Do you think our generation, like our generation, Gen Z,
Gen Z.
yeah, will
Okay.
see fewer wars in future, or just wars that look like completely different, like wars that would be completely different, not like army, not like soldiers? Do you think we'll consider like see less wars, or do you think we'll see a new look of how wars would be done?
See, you, Gen Z or Gen Alpha or Beta, the coming generations, so they'll see less wars or more wars. It depends only on one thing, that how much you all are able to solve the problems mutually. Number one. Second, what kind of war you will be facing. Like, you were talking about army and all. No, we don't need nowadays boots on the grounds, right? That era is over. So the war, which if happened, what kind of war we can see? Maybe the tech wars, cyber crimes, info wars, missiles, I mean air, wars, which we can see nowadays also. Like, nobody is like, very, very pro to send their armies to another country. So missile wars are ongoing. Maybe, if we are unable to convince the people, like, the world leaders, Iran, Russia, Ukraine, USA and Israel, so maybe, a kind of nuclear war, which can be the last stage. I mean, I never want something to be happen, but yes, the style of war will be changed.
I
definitely.
think they'll play with the mindset of the people rather than
They
attacking their
are.
country.
They are. That's why I mentioned info wars.
Because if they'll manipulate their people and make it like unki side kar lenge, तो the nation is already drowned.
That is called info war.
That's a new terminology for me. Okay, so ending it up, the last question is, if our generation and if your generation both have to rewrite the rules of geopolitics, what would we throw out first and what would we implement new? So our generation and your generation both, and why?
So your generation and my generation, matlab today's generation,
Yes.
right? Okay, so we are living. So if we would try to rewrite the rules for UN, okay?
Like the geopolitical rules, if
Geopolitical
we have to rephrase some rules throughout some rules, or like implement some new rules, what would we do it?
Okay, so first rule which we would like to throw out, that would be the closed door diplomacy and secret conversations, or maybe, lack of transparency. So why I am saying that? Because, today's generation, we believe in openness, fairness, accountability, participative governance. So, the present scenario is, controlled, the old school, that is, controlled by some elite gatekeepers and, some politicians. So our vision is, our style of working is totally, or your style of working is totally different from them. What you will do, you will be making global citizen voting system, maybe live streamed negotiations, maybe, climate urgency, your first thing. So there should not be any space for lack of transparency and closed door diplomacy. So we should throw out that first.
But I have a different take on that. I think that some things are kept to be meant to be secret, and they are secret for a reason. Like you prefer like it should be fully transparent, but in my opinion मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि अगर हम सब चीज़ें ट्रांसपेरेंट कर देंगे, like there is something a geopolitical issue that can be resolved by the top level or the top diplomats, but अगर हम उस चीज़ को ट्रांसपेरेंट करके पूरी कंट्री को उसके नोन कर देंगे तो क्या कंट्री में पैनिक सिचुएशन नहीं हो जाएगी?
It may also happen. We have to decide that what should be done in the closed boundaries. Majority of the information which I know, the generation whom I teach, they want openness, they want transparency. They say that if you decide for us, involve us.
Exactly,
So-
that is a thing nowadays, because even if a family of four, everyone has their own opinions and everyone wants that they should be considered in a nuclear family itself. That's what we can do. We can consider in the future, near future, that we should include more and more publics. We should keep many of the things transparent so that public should be aware, उन्हें पता हो कि क्या चल रहा है, and इससे हमारा ये भी बेनिफिट हो सकता है कि पब्लिक की इन्वॉल्वमेंट भी ज़्यादा आ सकती है.
Of course. एटलीस्ट पब्लिक को ये लगेगा कि हमें पता है क्या हो रहा है और क्यों हो रहा है. अभी तक लोगों को ये लगता है कि डिसीजंस आर मेड, हमें तो कुछ पता नहीं होता. सो यू नो व्हेन अकाउंटेबिलिटी इज फिक्स्ड वी कैन हैव द ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन सिस्टम.
That's a very good answer. Now, moving on to the rapid fire, we'll keep it very short and crisp. So, first question: which world leader are you currently following on Instagram?
Okay, the former New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern.
If you could DM any one president, who would he or she will be, and what would you say?
Former president or present president?
Any president.
Okay, so my first only choice Barack Obama. And I have to tell the message also.
Yes.
Coffee or podcast, your call.
One global issue you would solve instantly if you have a magic button.
Climate change.
Which global city would you move to if borders doesn't exist?
London.
Trade war or TikTok ban? What would hurt you more?
Of course, trade war.
Would you rather be a diplomat or a spy?
Spy.
Which country's food would you fight to protect?
If I exclude India, it's Italy.
One historical figure you want to debate on a podcast.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Which country's passport would you want for unlimited travel?
Japan.
If the UN had a youth wing, what would be its first rule?
I told you earlier also, listen to us before deciding for us.
If you could swap two countries' leaders for a week, who would you choose?
US and China.
Which global issue would you never post about online?
Of course, military intelligence matters.
One international law you would like to rewrite overnight?
Refugee resettlement rights.
What's the most overrated country in the world?
Only one. Glam without grit. Monaco.
Which country would you trust to run the internet?
The most peaceful one. Switzerland.
So that's it for the Season 2 Episode 1 of You Unplugged. I hope you all enjoyed. It was a intellectual session. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insights.
My pleasure.
We had a great conversation and I hope it would impact you in the longer go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.